All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining us on another Gut Health 15. If you have not been on board for us for one of these, we're doing this every Thursday night. We're just going to set aside 15 minutes at 8:30, and we're going to bring somebody on to talk about their health journey and where they were at before Plexus and where they are at now after Plexus. And of course, time and consistency, that's what makes these things happen. So that's why we're here tonight. First of all, I wanted to just say that with Plexus, you get the opportunity not only to get your health back on track, but you also always have the opportunity to put a little more cash in your pocket by bringing friends or relatives along with you to do this and helping them and being their coach and bringing others alongside you for the accountability. And just, it's a lot of fun to get healthy together with those you love too. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what gut health is, because for me, and Brittani can probably attest to this too, being in the medical field, this is nothing I was ever taught in pharmacy school. How about you, Brittani? Were you ever taught any of this?
No,
No, the
no.
answer is no. And I would guess that's still probably the case in the curriculum. So when I heard gut health, I think about your tummy, right? You think of GI issues. That's what I assumed gut health meant. Digestive issues. Well, that's part of it, but it certainly is not all of it. Gut health has to do with our microbes or the bacteria that basically populate our gut, meaning all the way from our mouth out the other end. And that is what is responsible for our health. And you can Google gut health and whatever, fill in the blank. You will find stuff. You will find evidence that is linking our gut health to everything. So that is what we're talking about here. And also, did you know 70% of our immune system resides in our gut? 90% of our serotonin production happens in our gut. So it's heavily related to how we feel. And of course, we're working against our environment on a daily basis. We're working against how we eat on a daily basis when we're introducing processed foods or artificial sweeteners or um, not getting enough sleep, not getting enough exercise, having a lot of stress in our life. All these things affect our gut and our gut health, okay? So then we have these symptoms that pop up when we don't have ideal gut health. So we don't sleep as well. We don't have energy to get through the day. Yes, we will have some GI distress. We may have some constipation or have some diarrhea or have some of both. IBS, right? Or, we have additional stress, we have mood swings, we have weight gain, excess weight we carry around that even though we're doing all the things, we just can't shed the weight. So there's a lot of stuff that can happen when our gut is imbalanced, which has a fancy name called dysbiosis. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about gut health. Plexus is the OG company when it comes to gut health. They were the first ones in the game. And I think they are still considered to lead that whole market in the research and the product development and coming out with products that just make sense and that target specific symptoms that are related to our guts. So even the products that they have in other lines always have a gut health component in them because that is just what they're known for and what they strive to be number one at. All right, so now let's get to the reason why we're all here. So I'm going to introduce Brittani. This is Brittani Flaten. Brittani, I met, it's been years ago, probably when, early 2010, 11, I'm guessing. Yeah. I grew up in the same community as Brittani. She's quite a bit younger than I am. I won't go into how much younger, but she actually worked with me in the pharmacy for many, many years. I was blessed to get to know her and know her integrity and just know her as a person. And I consider her not only my colleague, but my friend. And it's just been a treat. I can remember the first time I introduced Brittani to Plexus. She had already moved on to another job that was closer to where she lives right now. And I remember dropping off samples and touching base with Brittani to see what she thought. And she's like, yeah, I didn't like the flavors. So, okay. Okay, that's fair. And it wasn't long. And she reached out to me and said, I'm ready to give it another try. I'm ready to try it again. And, this is not an unfamiliar response for me to get that kind of response from people. It just means they're not ready yet, and that's okay. Because once somebody is ready and is all in and gives it time and consistency, we know what happens. So, first of all, yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about, Brittani. So let's just roll it over and let's hear your story, Brittani. Let's hear your before and after. I think you're on mute, my dear.
There we go. I
Okay.
think it's been 2 years since I started, a little over 2 years. And I was probably, well over 200 pounds and just tired of the IBS, the not being confident in myself and not being happy and just tired all the time. So I gave it another shot and it just clicked right away. Pounds started melting off. My gut was a whole different story. Everything was different. It was fantastic. Just a complete game changer
Game changer.
for me.
But I recall this, Brittani. It's not that you weren't doing all the things. Am I right?
I was doing the things. I
You were doing
have
the things.
a very good friend that was, she's a personal trainer, so she trains me twice a week. Now she's moved, so now I'm off of that game. But I had been consistently working out prior, and it just nothing was working. It's a yo-yo diet, really, is what I was on before, and this really has really changed everything
Yeah.
for me. So it's been awesome.
I've seen the pounds melt off you. I have seen, and that's what I remember too, because you were heavily into exercise, into weightlifting, into all the things. But still you just struggled with the weight. And it almost seemed to get worse, as we build
Yes.
muscle, of course you're going to put on weight, you're going to put on muscle rather than fat, but and you're not a big framed girl. You're a small frame girl.
Yeah.
So I remember how frustrating that was for you. And that's
Yes.
why I was so thankful that you finally gave it a shot. And yeah, I'd say game
I
changer.
listened.
You listened. You did all the things. You did all the things, Brittani. And I remember
did.
too that you were so motivated because you were on a big trip. You had a big trip planned.
Yes, we were going to Hawaii.
Yes. And
Oh, and
did
that
you go
was
to Hawaii
fabulous.
feeling pretty confident in all your bikinis?
Well, not bikinis, but
Wow.
close.
It still makes a big
Still
difference.
a game changer for me.
Yes. And you look incredible. And I know your energy level has even gone up,
Yes.
pacing your teenage daughter around. Ella is heavy into gymnastics. If you all don't know, she is incredibly gifted in track as well. And she travels all over the state for that type of
Yeah.
thing. So it's a big,
Just
big,
got back from state track, actually.
really. That's awesome. Do you remember what product you started on?
I started on Metaburn, hunger control, and then active and hydrate.
Okay. Okay. And you have been really consistent with the products. I think that has
Yes.
made a difference. And you've been able to share them now with Ella,
Yep.
being a
She does the vital biome, the
yep,
active, and the hydrate.
being an athlete, the hydrate. I remember you asking me too, is this going to be okay for her
Yes.
age? And yes, the answer is always yes with that hydrate. Absolutely. It's great for kiddos in soccer or whatever. Don't bring them Gatorade, bring them hydrate. All you parents out there, bring them something clean, a clean energy
Yes.
source. And I think you've been also successful in getting your husband, Dale,
He has tried it. Yep.
to work on his health picture a little more to keep up with you now. So that is pretty.
Yes.
Anybody have any questions for Brittani? You can just unmute yourself if you're muted and go ahead and ask. It's a pretty small group here on the call.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
I'm just wondering, did you move into the triplex then eventually?
What I consistently have been the last year has been the Metaburn and the ProBio 5 are like my main supplements. And then the hunger control and the hydrate active. Protein shake here and there.
with
And
your,
I'm
I,
sorry.
sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
I apologize. I had to take a quick call, so I might have missed this, but your main issue was stomach issues, is that correct?
Yeah. So I have IBS that I deal with, which was, well, Kelly can remember that from when I worked up there. I was in the bathroom all the time because I don't have a gallbladder, and that helped with that problem as well. And once I started, it was probably, I don't know, a month, not even a month, and things had really significantly changed.
That
Like
was
I
my
wasn't
next
trying
question.
to run, trying to make sure I knew where all the bathrooms were. Like when I go to Sam's Club, I know where the bathroom is. Before I knew where every bathroom was because that's how my life was. Now I don't have to worry about that.
Amen.
Any other questions? All right, well, we're gonna keep rolling then because our time is almost out here. So let's just talk a little bit more about Plexus in general. Like I said, they are the OG gut health company. They obviously have other product lines. So they, weight loss is a big product line for them just because getting your gut balanced helps your body shed pounds. And I think Americans are obsessed with weight loss because we as a culture, as a population, are overweight, just bottom line. So that's a big drawing card. We are not a weight health company. We are not a weight loss company. It is all about getting healthy. And when you get healthy, then your body's going to shed that weight if it needs to. They've got a children's line. They've got a clean skincare line. And the nice thing, when I say clean, I don't mean clean by American standards. I mean clean by European standards, and then tighten that. That is what Plexus does. They do it right. They do it clean, non-GMO, vegan, all the things. Use all the catchphrases you want to. They are respectful of all those things. So they've got great multivitamins. They've got an omega product, and I could go on and on. Their line is not huge, but I think what they have done better than other companies out there, to the tune of other companies trying to replicate Plexus products, to the point where Plexus did take out a patent on their pink drink, on their microbiome pink drink, the Slim, because of that reason. The others out there are alternatives. They are counterfeits. Okay. So if you see these being advertised, they are not Slim. They are not the original, and don't be fooled by that. Now, I want to talk about a little bit more when it has to do with not only joining Plexus for the products. You don't only get the products, but you get us as a community. You get the coach that you sign on with that is your sponsor. So if somebody invited you to this call to hear a little bit more about it, that's who you want to touch base with after this call is over. But in our team right now, we'll be running our active challenge 2.0 because it was such a hit the first 14 days. We're going to duplicate it. We're going to replicate it again and add a couple more things that we're going to be tracking other than just our steps. So that is something to look forward to with a qualifying order. And also you would have access into our private Facebook groups where you're going to get a ton of information, a ton of training, accountability, all these types of things, a lot of prizes. We do a lot of giveaways, and it's just a fun community. And I can't stress enough how important it is to get plugged into these groups, because along with the consistency with the products, I think it's really important to be consistent in learning about what these products do, what they are, and what they aren't. Gut health is completely different than pharmaceuticals, which I think also Brittani can attest to because we see it all the time. Okay.
Every day.
Every day. That is right. So that is what we have for you tonight. And I hope that you will also keep in mind that Thursdays going forward, I believe in June, these still are going to be taking place on Thursday night. So plug into our group, be sure that's happening. There's generally a graphic out there. And if you're asked to give your pleximony, I highly encourage you to do that because you will be changing lives. These calls, sometimes I can say the same thing over and over and over again, but they don't want to hear it from me. They want it validated from somebody else. They want to hear Brittani say, you know what? I used to be over 200 pounds. I felt like crap. I needed to know where all the bathrooms were. And now I feel amazing. And she does. I mean, and I do too. That's what Plexus does with time and consistency. So thank you so much for joining us, you guys, tonight. And cheers to your health and happiness. We will sign off now. Look for the recording. I will have it posted in the Healthy Living group, in the Dynamic Health group, and then I will probably throw it up on my YouTube channel also, okay? Thanks again, Brittany, for taking time to share with us tonight. Good to see you. Good to see all
You
of you
too.
tonight. Good night, gals.
Bye.
Bye.